The Golden State Warriors' start to the season was pretty interesting, in that it was awful. They started the season going a putrid 10-14, and during this skid, pretty much everything was going wrong other than Steph backpacking the team. Klay was in the slump of all slumps, Andrew Wiggins was playing like he was still in Minnesota, Draymond was trying out for the UFC during regulation NBA games, their offense was mediocre, their defense was flaccid, and they just generally looked like they were wasting the final years of Curry's dominance. And then out of nowhere, a switch flipped. And I would like to emphasize out of nowhere because it literally came out of nowhere. Since December 14th, 2023, the Warriors have actually looked like a competent franchise. And you can almost directly trace it to when Steve Kerr finally gave this man the minutes he deserves. Everyone in the room, would you please rise for the honorable come bucket? I still remember when Jonathan Kuminga was drafted in 2021. I very vividly remember this primarily because I wanted the Thunder to draft him so bad. No worries though, we got Josh Giddey instead. Kuminga was drafted in the lottery in 2021 essentially solely because of his upside. His proverbial ceiling was at the roof. High-end athleticism combined with next-level scoring ability and world-class defense were flashed to NBA scouts frequently during his time with the G League Ignite. So when the Warriors drafted him with their lottery pick, everyone collectively said, fuck. 15 more years of a Warriors dynasty, please. Everyone just assumed with the Warriors dynastic system, one of the best coaches in the league and a treasure trove of the most experienced veterans in the NBA, Kuminga was going to be elite out of the box, 86 overall from the womb, and surprise, surprise, that did not happen. Now, this isn't to say Kuminga was bad or anything, because he wasn't. He surely had his share of boneheaded plays, I ain't gonna argue that, but for the most part, all of his gaffes and kerfuffles were the ones you'd expect from a first and second year player in a notoriously complex system like the Warriors. And even with those, man, did I really say kerfuffles? Even with those mistakes, he still showed enough flashes to keep even the most hardened Warriors fans intrigued. Going into his third year though, everyone assumed that his breakout season was imminent. The third year is usually when NBA players start to come into their own, right? Well, this year started and the same old shit. In fact, you could say he was performing even worse, averaging more points but on an even lower efficiency. It had a lot of people, including myself, pushing that Kuminga breakout season to next year. And it's a shame that we had to do that too because the Warriors needed a Kuminga breakout season more than ever. With the significant fall off of essentially all their best players outside of Steph, both offensively and defensively, the Warriors were desperate for someone to step up their game, preferably someone in the front court because for like the 5th season straight, the Warriors were lacking front court size and skill. The Warriors were in dire straits, and then out of nowhere, something snapped. That something being Draymond's temper on Rudy Gobert and Yusuf Nurkic. And you know what? Looking back on it, Draymond having the temper of a 6-year-old may have actually been a blessing in disguise because his suspension forced Kerr to start Kuminga. And as I alluded to in the intro, a switch flipped almost immediately. And when I say immediately, I mean right away. Immediatamente. The day Kuminga was moved from the bench to the starting lineup is the line of demarcation between the Warriors being bad and the Warriors being decent. And when you look at the tape, this significant improvement took place largely because the cum bucket fills all the Warriors' holes offensively and defensively. I'll pause that one. That one was egregious. What is the Warriors' biggest hole on defense? I would say 2 things: rim protection and a lack of really good perimeter defenders. Well, how's Jonathan Kuminga's perimeter defense? I wouldn't say he's the best of the best. He's not Jaden McDaniels or prime Kawhi Leonard or anything like that, but he is very, very solid, and what little he lacks in sheer defensive prowess, he more than makes up for in versatility. Jonathan Kuminga is by far the Warriors' most versatile perimeter defender, able to comfortably guard 1 through 4 and some 5. Steve Kerr and the Cumbuckets teammates are more than comfortable with him guarding any player on the other team. In fact, the only person that is uncomfortable with Jonathan switching around so much is whoever he's guarding. I can't tell you how many times I saw Jonathan switch onto someone in either a fast break situation or just in the general flow of a defensive possession, and whoever the ball handler was, 8 times out of 10 will call for a screen specifically to get Jonathan off of them. So his perimeter defense is pretty good. How about his rim protection? Well, it's about as good as you can expect from a 6'7" forward. I'm not gonna pretend like he's Gobert or anything, but on a team like the Warriors that is almost completely devoid of any rim protection, the value of Kuminga's prowess in this skill cannot be understated. He is pretty good at timing when to leave his man to help defend the rim from drivers. He elevates pretty quickly, and he is getting better at using the rule of verticality to contest shots without fouling. Okay, so he's good defensively, but we kinda already knew this. How is he offensively? Well, again, let's take a step back. What have the Warriors been lacking offensively? Well, with Wiggins still trying to get back to his 2021 form and Chris Paul out with injury, the main thing the Warriors have desperately needed is an offensive shot creator outside of Steph who can score inside the arc. Hi? Yeah, man, what's up? That's like all I do. If I were to compare Jonathan Kuminga to a player offensively, it would be Derrick Henry. If you forced me to choose an NBA player though, I'd probably go with like 2019 Pascal Siakam with 10% more athleticism and 10% less offensive polish. Offensively, Kuminga is a running back. I can take you through each thought that crosses Kuminga's mind when he's trying to score from the perimeter. First step, catch the ball. Second step, in and out dribble. Third step, drive to the hoop by going around the defender. If third step fails, go to the fourth step. Drive to the hoop by going through the defender. If fourth step fails, go to fifth step, transition to a post up, and hit a post fade. That is his entire bag. Kiddie pool deep. And I don't say that to hate on the man. I say that to highlight that the sky is really the limit for the come and go. Jonathan Kuminga is averaging 20 points per game on good efficiency with a bag as deep as your average Ice Spice song. He is averaging 20 points per game in the most difficult league in the world with a bag that is literally just sheer athleticism and will. And what makes this even better is that Kuminga is already pretty good at all the other finer details of offense. He's a great finisher. He is extremely good in the mid-range. He's okay from 3. He's having a down year, but his shot is at least good enough for the defense to have to respect it. He's really good in the post. Something I really like about him is that he does his work early. He makes the effort to post up his defender as deep as he possibly can before he gets the ball, and this really helps him get easier buckets at the rim. He's also a great cutter and a solid connective tissue passer in the Warriors offense. He really checks all the boxes of what the Warriors need. Now, does this mean I am back on the Warriors bandwagon? No. His lack of perimeter shot creation signals to me that he'll probably be neutralized somewhat if the Warriors actually make it to the postseason. He is the Warriors' second leading scorer over this run. He is going to get game planned for, and if he does, he is probably going to get the opposing team's best wing defender. And if he has Aaron Gordon or Jaden McDaniels on him, his tenacious driving style is probably not going to work out that well. But Warriors fans, what I will admit is this. I think I said you guys are dead prematurely. Not saying you are definitively alive, but let's just say that EKG is reading a signal, and that is because Kuminga actually reaching his upside is a lot more plausible now that he's had this stretch of sustained high-level play. And all this when he's barely old enough to drink. The man is 21 years of age. 21, 2-1. Kobe White just had his breakout season and he is 24. So Kuminga still has 3 years till you can expect him to be close to his final product. And even then, he won't be in his prime. I don't know, was the title of the video kinda clickbait? Yeah, I wouldn't definitively say he's the savior of the Warriors or anything like that. Even if he reaches his ceiling, is that ceiling top 5 player in the league ceiling? I don't know. But what I do know is his rise makes the Warriors a real playoff team in the present and a sleeping giant for years to come. With that, thank you for watching the video all the way through. We really appreciate it. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed this content. Comment down below what you want us to talk about next. And as always, stay sweaty, ladies and gentlemen.